Yeah. I wonder if anybody anywhere has ever been able to solve any of these problems. And I wonder about it because I've never seen an example of a situation like this, which has been successfully or amicably with balance on both sides being resolved. There's so many professional development and coaching points in there that it's crazy. All problems are people problems. If I have a problem with this pen, then it's because of me, really. Well, it's about me. It's not about the pen, right? And I say, well, okay, the pen doesn't work. Yeah, but I bought the pen. It's still about me, really. It's so that's the first thing to understand. All problems are people problems. And even if someone is not doing what they should be doing, it's still not a policy problem. It's still a people problem.
Yeah.
Even if someone is, even if someone is breaking the rules, naturally people are going to have their own best interests at the center of a lot of their actions. Maybe not all their actions, but a lot of their actions. And there's a lot of problems that don't need to exist in the world. Why do problems exist? I had this conversation with my son last week. Problems exist because people get power from them. That's why problems exist. There is some power or influence or control to be gained from the problem existing. The Romans used to ask in Latin, qui bono, who benefits? Yeah, who gets a benefit? Who gets some advantage? Like, why does the problem exist? Why does the problem exist at all? Because there's some benefit or some advantage to be gained. Now, you can be really, what's the word? You can do the right thing and still seek advantage. There's no rule about the positives and negatives there, but in each problem, there's something to be gained. And to think about jobs and job positions. Everybody has a job because there's a problem to solve. That's why we get paid. We get paid to solve problems. Everybody has a job because there's a problem to solve. And if that problem gets solved, you don't have a job anymore. Right? And well, that's one way to look at it. You can also look at it in the sense that, well, if you solve this problem, you can move on to the next one. And then the question is, well, what's the next problem? What's the next problem to solve? Yeah. It's rather obvious in business that the aim appears to be to find customers and make money. In the game, in the gaming sense of what a business is, right? I mean, there's a lot more to it than that, obviously, right? It improves people's qualities of life in general, which is a good thing. But the aim is to find more customers, to sell more products, to make more money. Like Like a football team, the aim is to win games and become more popular because everyone loves a winner, and then have more fans, and then build bigger stadiums, and then have more people buying tickets, and then make more money, and then have more money and buy better players and win more games and perpetuate the cycle until things become corrupt or it doesn't work anymore. What happened to Liverpool football team after the 1980s? Where have Manchester United been for the last 10 years? Not the same place as they were 10 years ago, that's for sure, right? What happened to the Everton and Tottenham Hotspur of the 1980s, the Aston Villa of the 1970s, those great localized teams? They all fade and disappear eventually, because people end up seeing it as people end up fearing what happens if they solve the problem rather than embracing it so that they can move on. In a perfect world, here's the perfect conversation. Your boss calls you and says, hey, did you see this information? And you say, nope. And your boss says, the information's changed. You better check it. Just passing it on. Bye. You know, that's it. That's it. There doesn't need to be a conversation for more than 20 seconds. Yeah. Yeah. System has changed. Here are the new rules. Got any problems, let me know. Right? And if you have a problem, like there's always a transitionary period between one thing and another. So you have a problem, I'll support you, we'll solve it, we'll move forward. Right? Let's not make the small things the big things. Let's not do that. And you know, and in life, small things become big things over time naturally anyway, and we don't want the wrong small things, right? We don't want to make the right. If you've got a little pain on your shoulder, you don't want to be like, oh my shoulder, my pain. If you've got a small pain, you don't want to be like that, right? And it doesn't help anybody. Yeah. And to make the small problem into a big problem. Except when you're not dealing with, real people who are interested in solving real problems. And as I always say, a lot of the wrong people are in the wrong jobs. Why are they there? I don't know, money, I suppose. Why? Well, why is anybody anywhere? They're there because they think they can get some kind of advantage from what it is that they do. It's difficult. We have to be aware of people who don't accept criticism. I mean, that's always a big red flag. Somebody who's not prepared to admit that. Somebody who's not prepared to admit that we're all human and we all make mistakes, right? That's a bad place to be, right? I mean, you don't want to cook a meal for your partner, for it to be a bad meal, and for your partner to be really angry at you because it's a bad meal, right? You know what I'm saying? You want your partner to go, shit happens, don't worry about it, right? What the fuck, we'll order a pizza, I don't fucking care, right? The food is not that important. There's a bigger picture. Okay. There's a bigger picture. Oh my God, we've run out of coffee. There's no coffee. Oh my God, there's no coffee. It's like, what the fuck? We'll get coffee tomorrow. Relax. We don't want to make the small things the big things. Yeah. We don't want to turn small problems into big problems. We don't want that. Yeah. It doesn't help anybody. So So that leads us to wonder why people continually try to make small problems into big problems, or to pick on people. You know, the problem is not the problem. The problem is you. It's what? I mean, yeah, I get it. All problems are people problems, but let's sort it out. There's many ways to solve the problem if we want to solve the problem. Yeah. Having a specific set of questions probably helps. You know, what is the problem? How do we solve it? Okay. You know, does it need to get any deeper? You know, I don't think it. I don't think it does. The boss is there to support. The boss is there to transfer information. The boss is not there to shouldn't be there to make things more difficult than they already are. Things are difficult enough, you know. It's life is difficult enough without people specifically making problems for other people. So you know, what happens if you let's say, okay, here's a theory. Okay, here's a theory. This is what happens? Compare the two situations. What happens if you do something to what happens if you do nothing? Think about it like this. We only ever comprehend a small part of everything that's going on. Less than we understand less than 1% of anything at any point in time. You're in a town somewhere, and the town is full of thousands of people. You don't know what anyone else is doing anywhere, right? Your knowledge of their activities is zero. So in any situation, you have to understand that really what you see and what you know is a small part of a big picture. Taking that into consideration, we can hypothesize or idealize. This is theoretical. We can hypothesize or idealize that nothing is what we think it is. Nothing is what we think it is. And if we want to avoid problem A and problem B, we have to realize that there might be another solution that we don't know yet.
Yes, definitely.
There might be something that we can't see. Yeah. And in that context, we have to understand that the good things in life come from the chances taken a lot of the time that are unexpected. Think about this example. Maybe it's not relevant to now, but it's probably relevant to the past. You go out with your friends for a beer, and you're out in the middle of the town, and you're standing with your friends, and you're like, okay, which bar do we go to? And you can all go to the same bar that you always go to, or you can go somewhere different. Is it wrong to go somewhere different? No. The same way it's not wrong to go to your company, to go to your boss's bosses and say, I want a promotion.